Salutations and welcome to the Serpent Holders Tarot. So I sorry about that pause. I started to open this in because this came together with another deck for the demonic deck. But these are Angels of the Day. I wish it would say just angels, not angels of the day. I wish it would say angels of the night too, but the demonic deck only has 40 cards and this card only has 40 cards, but there are 72 demons of the Goetia, so for some reason we're missing 32 demons. Yeah, I think there's just as many angels too, to be honest with you. So I'll have to investigate that and see why that is, but I'll see which demons are missing, because I do have the Lesser and Greater Key of Solomon, so I have a source that lets me know what all the demons are. But these are the angel cards. I'm familiar with the names. Nothing, I mean, other than remembrance of what these two cards are, like, but I'm not seeing any immediate alignment with me. I think I've done work with Hyel. Let's see if you can see this. Sorry for the light. Hyel. And it says, you have the strength of iron. You will score victory over your challenges. This is the second card from the top. From the first card, like from the top. It's the second card from the top. And the second card from the bottom is Vehuya. Now is the time to expand your consciousness. Spend today in thoughtful meditation. I'll do a video on it, but I'm not a big meditator. I do battle meditation or like walking meditation. But like sitting, I do spells and rituals and stuff like that. And so I come close to meditation, but like sitting there and kind of just, being in my head, just to see what's there, sort of thing. Not to say that that's meditation, because I believe Bruce Lee says like no mind, and I think Shaolin monks preach the same thing. I can clear my mind a bit. It's not necessarily rampant with thought, so it's not too difficult. But it makes my body feel uncomfortable to be in silence, and just meditate. Like meditating means something to me in specific. It's without reading any I haven't done huge research on meditation. I've done research on rituals, spells, and they get you, they talk about something that's similar to meditation, but I have a lot of inner peace. A lot of calmness. So meditation is rare for me to seek. When I get into a struggle, I pray rather than meditation. You could consider prayer perhaps a meditation, but I battle meditate. I am the eye of the storm. I've learned to just be calm and let things circulate around me. I've lost my temper before. I've cried, broken down, so to speak. It's definitely happened. But when those things occur, I believe in letting them flow. I believe in letting myself express those emotions, that state of being, while also maintaining control, not being an actor, not being inauthentic, but definitely letting it flow and still maintaining control. I've never hurt anybody while angry, or sad, or crying and stuff like that. I've gotten into my share of fist fights. I didn't get too angry in them and stuff like that. So I've been in combat with people, or a brawl, we'll say, with people, or a fight. Maybe not combat, but a fight with people. So, you know, they initiated the fight for the most part. I've initiated 2 fights, but one of them I've initiated 2 fights, but one of them I didn't fight. One of them had a champion for him to fight in his place, and so I fought that person instead. So nobody that didn't have it coming to them, basically. So, you know, so it was just like, there's that. I have actually lost every fist fight that I've ever been in. So except for one. So my heart just wasn't in it. I didn't really want to hurt anybody and stuff like that. One of them was against a friend. The community encouraged us to fight because they wanted to see it. Peer pressure. He seemed into it. I didn't really want to be into it, but I'm not a coward. So, but I'm the King of Swords, not the King of Wands. And the King of Wands is all about fist fights and stuff like that. So, or like physical fights, or like, so, yeah. I think it'd be a very big different story if I had a weapon, but, and I'm not a gun person, King of Swords. So I also consider the in modern day, maybe like it still applies modernly, but the King of Weapons would be the King of Swords. So, much different story, but, yeah, I don't like being touched by people for the most part, like, especially males. I don't like being touched by other males. Energy exchange, all that stuff like that. I don't really like to let my energy get to them and stuff like that. A sword is cold steel or cold metal. Like, it's clean. It's, you know, especially if you don't make like a jagged sword or something like that, but it's a clean, detached cut. So, you know, like just, or infliction. It's different, you know, it's at a range. So there's a bit of distance between my body and that person, and that person's body. Fist fights are just too sexual for me. They're usually always fought to impress females, or it's all about sex. It's the House of Wands. Fist fights are just all about sex, and I'm not about to compete over any female or anything like that. It's just not going to happen. I'll execute you, or I'll execute with the sword and just get rid of the fucking problem. But that's just how that goes. So there was just way too much homosexual energy when fighting a male and stuff like that. I don't fight females and stuff like that. I'm not gonna bruise up a female or anything like that. Not because I think they're weak or anything like that. You know, like if we were in warfare and stuff like that, and there's a sword, I'd still show more mercy toward females than I would a male, because they are of the opposite gender. And let me see what time we're on. And my emotions and stuff like that, I don't. It's an alignment. I don't like hurting women. I'm not going to say I don't have it in me to execute. I'm not going to say hurt, but I'm not going to say I don't have it in me to execute both genders. But my propensity is more towards males than it is females, because you can't, like, both genders can be emotional creatures, but women, their propensity is emotion. Their polarity, their default is you know, the more emotional, intuitive gender, and Yeah, I mean, the worst thing that they can do is sleep with another male or something like that, and and express romantic interest towards you without telling you. So a dishonest act of sleeping with somebody else, an honest act of sleeping with somebody else, like, listen, I'm gonna sleep with you, but I'm gonna sleep with somebody else too. That doesn't hurt. That, for me, that doesn't hurt. That doesn't make me treat her any differently or anything like that. Like, if for me, love is very one-sided. And what I mean by that is, like, if you want to give somebody a gift, give them a gift, even if they haven't given you a gift or stuff like that. If that's who you are, then go ahead and do that. So that's just how I am. If you want to love someone, then love them. Even if the love isn't necessarily reciprocated, too many people want a mirror and reflection. I hate that. You're not my mirror. A mirror is a mirror, like a mirror on the wall. There's a very specific material thing for that. But we're not each other's mirrors. We're not reflection. I'm not saying that we can't have a mimicking effect on each other, or that people aren't capable of mimicking another person. But, like, tick for tack and going eye for eye. But no, in and of itself, we are not each other's reflections. You are not my reflection. I can tell you that right now. No one I've ever met is my reflection. Not even the person I love the most on this planet. So, like, I think we mirror each other naturally, though. I will say that there's a lot of energetic, mirroring and stuff like that. But, it's a very, I don't want to say subconscious thing, because I'm aware of it. It's not that you can't be aware of your subconscious thing and it still be considered subconscious, but I think being aware makes it not subconscious. So it's an energetic thing, something that's very difficult to control at times. Sometimes things just stack up so much on that person's side that the universe sends you, that the effect of that, the energy that comes to you every time you meet up and touch and just the connection that you have. Sometimes you act out of character, and you're pushed by a current, so to speak, like how the moon affects the tides of the water of the oceans. You're kind of pushed by a current, and you can resist that current, but you have a force going in one direction while you might want to go in another. So there's that. But yeah, I could tell you I would never hurt the Queen of Swords. I would never hurt, I would just, big care for females. And I definitely, I'm pro female rights, pro female feminine power. I think we need a lot more feminine power in the world. It's been masculine for too long. So I can't help that I was born a male. I can tell you why I believe I was, or why within me I know from a within source why I'm a male. It's because I don't like penetration. Like, that is one of the biggest determining factors for what gender you end up being, and whether or not you're feminine or masculine. Penetration or gestation, or carrying something. So being penetrated or penetrating, like being the one who gets penetrated or the one, like, I have a huge problem with penetration. I don't like needles. I don't like things piercing or getting inside of me. I do like to let energy, like, there's breathing and stuff like that. Like, I love breathing. Air doesn't really harm me, like, I'm not going to say air harm, the concept of breathing harms me. I'm very comfortable with breathing. I don't believe in, like, breath counting. I don't like breath counting because it's just so fabricated, and that doesn't bring me peace. It doesn't. It makes me feel like I'm controlling my breath. I like to just naturally breathe, and I do have a control over my breath, but I know how to pace my heart, and pacing my heart controls, my lungs, and my lungs get better. But breath work, like breath counting, is like controlling your lungs rather than your heart, and it just feels inorganic to me. It feels very fabricated to me, as I used that word before, but I don't like it. I like to just control the pace of my heart, my blood flow, and make sure I'm breathing calm, and that just works out for me. But it can get pretty intense and hard, but to me, if things are getting really high pressure and you have to resort to breathing exercises, it's a form of weakness to me. like lung control, it's just a form of weakness. It doesn't really do anything other than a physical reaction of calming you, of calming the body down, but it's a very physical thing. You've lost the knowledge or the wisdom or the lesson that can be gained from the emotional aspect by doing a breathing exercise. You have to feel that and let it flow. You have to get it, you know, some people might get it on the first time, but you have to let that intensity teach you something. And so letting it flow through you is what I believe in, and stuff like that is the approach that I take towards it. But yeah, these are the angel cards, and so I'll end it here. Hopefully this still fits on TikTok. Thank you for watching.